You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. By going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com, you can make this possible. Our Attorney General William Barr gave a heated speech yesterday about being tough on crime to the Fraternal Order of Police. Now, in it, he encouraged officers to have zero tolerance for resisting police, as well as making other inflammatory remarks. Here's what Donald Trump's second Attorney General had to say.
In recent years, we have witnessed increasing toleration of the notion that it is somehow okay to resist the police. This is completely unacceptable. Previously, it was well understood that regardless of the circumstances, physical resistance is unacceptable because it necessarily leads to a spiral of escalating violence that endangers the safety of the officer, the suspect, and all in the vicinity. And for that reason, virtually all jurisdictions have made resistance to police a serious crime. Not too long ago, influential public voices, whether in the media or among community and civic leaders, stress the need to comply with police commands, even if one thinks they are unjust. Comply first, and if you think you've been wrong, complain later. But you don't hear that much anymore. Instead, when an incident escalates due to the suspect's violent resistance to police, the fact is usually ignored by the commentary. The officer's every action is dissected, but the suspect's resistance and the danger it posed frequently goes without mention. And those who resist must be prosecuted for that crime. We must, and this department will, have zero tolerance for resisting police. This will save lives. There's another development that is demoralizing to us in law enforcement and dangerous to the public's safety. That is the emergence in some of our large cities of district attorneys that style themselves social justice reformers and spend their time undercutting the police, letting criminals off the hook, and refusing to enforce the laws. Most disturbing is that some are actually refusing to prosecute cases of resistance to the police. And today, violent crime has been cut in half. Unfortunately, in the last few years of the Obama administration, the violent crime rate started rising again. Now, on the drug front, we are facing a monumental challenge. To be frank, the Obama administration showed little interest in prosecuting the fight against dangerous drugs. A tsunami built up and has been crashing over the country, bringing death and destruction.
Joining us now is DeLacy Davis, Black Cops Against Police Brutality. DeLacy, how you doing?
I'm good, Roland. How are you?
Not a damn thing in that speech said by Barr about cops. Guess what? Stop beating folks. Stop brutalizing people. Not one time did he mention the massive settlements that have taken place in cities all across America from police abuse. And this is why people can't trust this damn Department of Justice, because they're in the pockets of cops and they don't care about citizens.
Absolutely. The first thing I picked up on when I listened to the entire speech, he talked about zero tolerance. We know that zero tolerance got us the 100-to-1 sentencing of black and brown and poor people relative to crack cocaine and powder cocaine. That's what we saw coming through the Clinton campaign and the Clinton presidency in 1995. So immediately I zeroed back into all of that. He talked about the outside money, the campaigns of district attorneys. In the beginning, he talked about social pathology, drug epidemic, growing domestic violence, mass killings, boys growing up angry without fathers, and who's expected to pick up the pieces? You, the police. And it's interesting that he juxtaposed white kids who are the mass killers around in this country in between all of those things and some of those stereotypes that are associated with black people, poor people, and as well as naming cities specifically and talking about the cities going back to their old ways. He's problematic. The people he was talking to, he sounded like someone pandering for the support of the Fraternal Order of Police. I've said this before to you, and I say it again, and he's reinforced it. The organizational culture of law enforcement is white male-dominated, racist, sexist, homophobic, and maybe we might find good cops.
Bottom line, what you have here is a Trump administration that does not want to hold cops accountable. Jeff Sessions came in trying to undo a consent decree in Baltimore, trying to undo a consent decree in Chicago. He went before these cops and said, we're going to pull back on consent decrees because it's hurting morale of cops. Not once did he say why there were consent decrees.
Right.
And Barr's no different.
He's not going to talk about it. It is very clear that this is not an attorney general that is interested in protecting the people. In fact, in that speech that he gave, he talked about one of the first responsibilities of government is to take care of the police. He got it confused. This is supposed to be a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. The responsibility of law enforcement is to protect the people, to prevent crime, to enforce the laws, and to provide emergency services. That's the role of the police, not what he's talking about.
I want to pull in Teresa Lundy here. Teresa, he basically is saying your DA in Philadelphia, Larry Krasner, he's part of the problem.
Everybody's part of the problem. They're not going with the agenda. So Larry Krasner has proven not to be the problem. Right here in Philly, we have our own local FOP that is pretty much attacking Krasner and all his initiatives that he's doing for criminal justice reform, and to actually make sure as a prosecutor that people not only are, prosecuted accordingly, but the police are actually being held accountable. The FOP does not like that. Why? Because it brings scrutiny. And when scrutiny comes, what happens? Then the justice comes, then the protests come, and then the police then have to reevaluate their training, of which they're not doing currently. And so that's why we're having so many situations now. But AG Barr's comment pretty much just, set the tone for every FOP leader across the country that it's okay to, continue your ways without any reprimand. And I think that's the real problem. And that's the situation that not only do we need to protest about in our own ways, but we really need to have some dialogues and roll back some, or actually push out some legislation that can help.
Mike Brown, what AG Barr is saying, the hell with y'all who have voted in the DA in St. Louis, the DA in Baltimore, the DA in Philly, the DA in Dallas. The hell with any of these progressive DAs. His whole philosophy, lock them up, throw away the key.
Absolutely.
We know who his boss is. And you and I...
Hold on one second, DeLacy. Michael, go ahead.
And, we know who his boss is. His boss has clearly set the tone. But as you and I have talked about on I don't know how many occasions, elections have consequences. And he would not be there if Trump were not president. Sorry,
right.
45. I don't like to say his name. So because of that, this is what you get. So you can't stay at home. you got to make sure you make a difference and get out and vote.
DeLacy, again, for these men out, especially these black men out there who like, yeah, I'm voting for Trump's strength, or saying, hey, I like the economy. This is what I keep trying to explain to people. Another 4 years of Barr as the Attorney General would be devastating to black folks and people of color, because what they are saying to the cops, do whatever you want to do. We are not even going to waste our time filing charges against you.
Yeah, the message that he sent to the FOP and to the country, it's a dog whistle. And it's a loud whistle that says, absolutely, we're going to charge people. They know that 90% of cases that usually go to a district attorney or prosecutor's office is negotiated. So for them to turn and say that the sentences in cities are pathetic, and they're going back to the days of more crime and more victims. They have never been concerned with victims in poor communities, and certainly not in the city with black and brown people. So the concern is that they're setting up this dichotomy where folks are going to be forced to defend their lives. There's some laws on the books in other states where they have a self-defense law. So what you're saying is that people should submit to an unlawful arrest and then negotiate it later. Absolutely not. People are going to fight for their lives.
Absolutely. DeLacy Davis, we appreciate it, man. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, Life Lux Jazz is the experience of a lifetime, delivering top-notch music in an upscale destination. The weekend-long event is held at the Omnia Day Club Los Cabos, which is nestled on the Sea of Cortez in the celebrity playground of Los Cabos, Mexico. The Life Lux Jazz experience offers the ultimate getaway for discerning jazz aficionados by pairing an upscale international destination with luxury accommodations, fine hot cuisine, top-shelf libations, breathtaking golf, exhilarating spa, health and wellness options, and much more, while showcasing some of the biggest names in entertainment. The second annual Life Lux Jazz Experience continues to build upon its success and heritage with Jazzing Around Los Cabos, a celebratory expansion of accomplishing its goal of sharing all the finest the destination has to offer, including daytime excursions and mini concerts, including the Spirit of Jazz Gospel Brunch and Jazz Sunset Cruise. Confirmed guests, comedian actor Mark Curry, Gerald Albright, Alex Beaumont, Raul Madon, Incognito, Pieces of a Dream, Kirk Whalum, Average White Band, Donnie McClurkin, Shalea, Roy Ayers, Tom Brown, Ronnie Laws, and Ernest Quarles. Man, that's a hell of a lineup. For more information, visit the website at lifeluxjazz.com. It's lifeluxjazz.com. Also, we'll be broadcasting Roland Martin Unfiltered from Los Cabos the Thursday and Friday. And so you definitely want to be in the house, folks. It is an amazing experience. I can't wait for it all to happen. So go to lifeluxjazz.com to sign up today. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.